You sit in the third row of Mr. Harrison's geometry class. You are 16, weigh 135 pounds soaking wet, and your defining personality trait is a desperate, consuming desire to not be perceived. You wear a gray hoodie that smells faintly of generic laundry detergent and anxiety. If the high school social hierarchy is a pyramid, you aren't at the bottom. You are the sand underneath it. You don't get bullied because bullying requires being noticed. You are aggressively invisible. You live in a beige stucco house in Mesa, Arizona, a town where the sun bleaches the color out of everything, including your mother. She works as a shift manager at a dental billing office, $34,000 a year, which means dinners are often whatever can be stretched with rice, and the central air conditioning stays at a suffocating 78 degrees because cooling the house is a luxury you can't afford. She is tired. She has been tired since 2018. You do not have a camera. You have a laptop with a missing H key and a $15 USB microphone you bought at a thrift store. So when you decide to start a YouTube channel, you don't show your face. Your face is a liability. Your face is the thing that makes you invisible in geometry class. Instead, you create a faceless channel. You use an avatar of a stylized glitching cassette tape. You write video essays about internet mysteries, liminal spaces, and digital folklore. You record at 2 a.m. sitting on the floor of your closet. Your acoustic treatment is your mother's winter coats and a pile of unsorted laundry. You speak softly so you don't wake her. You pitch shift your voice down 3 semitones in Audacity so you sound 22 instead of 16. You spend 40 hours editing a 12-minute video because you have nothing else to do. You have no parties to attend, no Marco to play video games with, just the glowing timeline on Premiere Pro. Your first video gets 14 views, your second gets 30. You don't care. The act of creation is the only time you feel tethered to the earth. Then, 6 months in, you upload a 20-minute breakdown of an obscure early 2000s web forum. You go to sleep, you wake up for school, you check your phone while eating generic brand Cheerios. The video has 40,000 views. By third period, it has 150,000. By the time you are walking home in the blistering heat, it has crossed 500,000. The algorithm, that blind mathematical god of attention, has reached down and tapped you on the shoulder. A month later, you log into your AdSense account. The screen loads. The number is $4,842.16. You stare at it. It's glowing. It's the exact amount of money your mother makes in 2.5 months, sitting in a digital ledger, generated by a teenager talking into a closet full of coats. You don't buy a Rolex. You don't buy a sports car. That would be suspicious. You are a ghost, and ghosts do not have disposable income. Instead, you wait for your mother to go to work. You log into her bank account because you fixed her laptop last year and memorized her password, and you pay off the $1,200 balance on her Visa card. When she comes home, she sits at the kitchen table, staring at her banking app, crying softly because she thinks there was a bank error in her favor. You sit across from her, eating a Hot Pocket, saying nothing. You are a 16-year-old Robin Hood robbing the attention economy to fund your mother's grocery budget. Within a year, the channel hits 1 million subscribers. You are making $20,000 a month. Sponsors are emailing you, offering $5,000 for a 60-second read. You incorporate as an LLC. You hire an accountant through email who thinks he's talking to a 25-year-old film graduate, and your physical life remains entirely unchanged. You are sitting in the cafeteria on a Tuesday. A kid named Tyler, the varsity lacrosse captain who once accidentally stepped on your hand and didn't even notice, is sitting 2 tables away. He is watching a video on his phone. The volume is turned up just enough. You hear it. It's your voice, lowered 3 semitones, talking about the psychology of digital isolation. Tyler is nodding. He turns to his friend and says, "This guy makes the best content on the internet. He's a genius." You are sitting 15 feet away, eating a bruised apple. You could stand up. You could walk over and say, "That's me. I'm the genius." But you don't, because if you do, the magic dies. Tyler wouldn't see the glitching cassette tape avatar, the master of internet lore. He would see the kid from geometry class with the cheap shoes, The mask is infinitely more powerful than the face behind it. The money keeps coming, the numbers keep climbing, 2 million, 3 million. You buy a top-of-the-line editing rig and hide it under a blanket when your mom comes in. You tell her you got a remote data entry job to explain the packages that occasionally arrive. You pay the rent, you quietly upgrade the internet speed. You live in two entirely separate dimensions that occupy the same coordinates in space. But the isolation begins to rot. You are a god to 3 million people, but nobody knows it's you. Your inbox is flooded with thousands of emails from fans telling you how your videos saved them from depression, how your voice is the only thing that calms them down to sleep. You are universally loved, but they don't love you. They love the avatar. They love the lowered pitch. If you died tomorrow, 3 million people would mourn a symbol, and exactly one person, your tired mother, would mourn the boy. You realize the terrifying truth of the faceless creator. You did not build an empire, you built a phantom, and the phantom is devouring you. You spend 14 hours a day researching, scripting, and editing, feeding the machine to keep the metrics green, to keep the AdSense flowing, to keep the Visa card at 0. The channel is no longer an extension of you. You are the biological battery keeping the channel alive. You are 18 now. Graduation day. You walk across the stage in a cheap rented gown. The principal mispronounces your last name. You take your diploma. No one cheers excessively. You are the same invisible kid who walked in 4 years ago. You go back to your room. You take off the gown. You sit down at the glowing monitors. You check the dashboard. A new video just crossed 5 million views. The revenue graph is a steep, beautiful green mountain. You look in the mirror hanging on the back of your door. You look at your completely unremarkable face. You have beaten the system. You have achieved total financial freedom. You have hacked the culture. And you have never felt more alone. Because what good is having the whole world listening to you if you can never, ever speak in your own voice?